politicians like Donald Trump talking tough about war when his kids aren't the ones who are shipping out to the Middle East. It doesn't take any courage at all for Trump to threaten to go to war. It won't affect his family one bit. Shame on him. And shame on everyone in his administration who has been itching for war with Iran from day one. Make no mistake, the world is less safe because of Trump's reckless actions. Hardliners are emboldened. Iran is united against us. 4,000 more U.S. troops have deployed to the Persian Gulf. Operations against ISIS have been suspended, and Soleimani has already been replaced. So we are here today to say to President Trump, we will not let you and your reckless policies drag us into another conflict in the Middle East. Yes. The president claims his actions prevented an imminent threat, but we've heard that one before. We remember the stories about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. We remember the tens of thousands of American soldiers who paid the price for that deception. We love this country. We love this country, and we are patriotic. And we do not want to see our troops put into the line of fire and innocent civilians killed because of this president's miscalculations. Now, maybe Trump thinks if he drags us into war, Americans will rally behind him. Maybe he thinks war will distract us from his scandal-plagued administration or his impeachment. Maybe he's in so far over his head, he doesn't know what to think. But Trump thinks he doesn't need congressional approval to go to war with Iran. But I have news for him. Oh, yes, he does. That's right. Donald Trump is not a dictator, although he probably wishes he was one. He is not a king. If he wants to go to war so bad, he has to come before the Congress of the United States and get approval. We represent the people who he is sending to the Persian Gulf right now. We represent their families who are scared sick, and we are going to stand up and demand an end to his dangerous brinkmanship. That's why this afternoon, as chairman of the House Rules Committee, I proudly brought a War Powers resolution to the House floor to prevent him from going to war. The president is about to get a loud and clear message from this Congress probably in the next 10 minutes. We are not going to roll over. We are going to reassert our authority on issues of war and peace, and America is not going to war with Iran.
No more war! 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 And sing. Thank you. Since this is a rally for justice, let's have another chant, shall we? Yes. Okay. When I say people, you say power. Okay. When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! When I say people, you say power. People! Power! People! Power! All right. Thank y'all for that. I feel a little more at home. And it's cold. We had to get some heat out in here, right? Speaking of heat, it is my honor to introduce the co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, my dear friend Pramila Jayapal.
Nobody brings that heat better than Reggie. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Listen, I just came from speaking on the floor, and I was thinking about the fact that 17 years next month will be 17 years from when I was out organizing 50,000 people, the largest anti-war march we had had in Seattle, against the war in Iraq, against that failed war in Iraq. Remember that war? Remember when we were promised that somehow there were weapons of mass destruction, but we all knew that was not true. We all knew that. We all knew that. But there was this push to go to war. There was a push to acknowledge, to not acknowledge the reality of what war is. War is devastating. It is devastating. Hundreds of thousands of people just in the Iran and Iraq war who lose their lives. Children, mothers, families separated, refugees created, devastation created, not just in this generation, but in generations to come. Humanity denied. That is what we're talking about with war. And that is why the framers gave that power to debate and to approve and to authorize war only to this body, the United States Congress, not to some president who doesn't even know what it means to fight for a country, who doesn't know what it means to stand up for anything except his own ego. And let's just be very clear that this president has not respected the Constitution or the balance of power since he came into office. Remember that I word? That's sort of what's at the center of impeachment. That is why the House impeached the President of the United States, because he does not recognize the Constitution. And so, as we are here on the brink of this moment, the only thing that has saved the country in these moments has been the power of the people. Right. So when Reggie does that chant, what that chant is about is Vietnam, people in the streets who brought our troops home from Vietnam. Iraq, people in the streets. We weren't able to stop that war, but it was people in the streets that brought the tension and the attention, which is required to organize. And today, what you are doing right here is bringing that same tension and attention to say we cannot go to war with Iran. And if we think about this really clearly, we know war is devastating. We also know that what this president has done with his reckless military brinksmanship is he has actually destroyed people's movements in Iraq that have been fighting against Iran, trying to push Iran back out of Iraq, trying to take power back for the people. And now, we've left them alone. So the urgency of the moment that we're in is so deep and so grave. And your presence here and thousands of people, tens of thousands of people across this country who are in the streets is what ultimately saves us. It is that power of the people. And so because I miss my organizing roots out in the streets, I'm going to do a chant. And Reggie told me I could. And so I'm going to say no war, and you're going to say with Iran. Ready? No war! With Iran! No war! With Iran! No war! With Iran! Thank you guys so much, and let's keep it up.